How would you feel if your dear old Brandon was an art thief? Hey, it's Super Death Show, and you're watching page 215 being time-lapse videoed in with the magic of the internet. In this particular page, Biggs tricks Clone Nick to press a button to self-destruct, and explosions are probably gonna happen. I had a lot of fun drawing this page. The second panel, I think it was, where Nick's got the gun and she's doing the... is an old sketch from, I think, earlier this year, or maybe it was from last year. But I tend to actually reuse old sketches because sometimes their poses can come in handy and they can be used on a panel for a page. But yes, right before the title card I said that I used to be an art thief. Now that's something that's super frowned upon in like all art communities. It wasn't actually art, and it was just one time. I was super young in the ripe old age of the early 2000s. I don't remember how old I was. Let's see. I'm 30 right now. It's 2016. So 10 years ago I was 20, which was 2006. Take 6 more off of that. I was 14. I was 15. I was 15. Now you remember when you were 15, or maybe you are 15. If you're 15, you're stupid. But I remember when I was 15, I was stupid. You're probably stupid too if you're 15. There was this one website called Mortisland. It's still up. It's called mortisland.com. What Mortis would do is he was inspired by an old sprite comic called 8-Bit Theater. I think it's finished. I'm pretty sure it was finished like a long time ago. But he did all these animations on Newgrounds, and everybody loved him and stuff. Eventually, he kind of dabbled his toes into webcomic. He made a few, and they were kind of funny. Not really, but kind of. Also, at the same time, there was another comic. It was kind of a Penny Arcade clone called Movie Comic. And this comic kind of copied the style of Penny Arcade. The jokes weren't as good, but the art kind of looked like Penny Arcade, because at the time, Gabe's style changes a lot. But at the time, Penny Arcade kind of looked like it was drawn in Flash because he had super smooth lines, and it was kind of... a lot of people didn't know how to do it, I guess. But anyways, Movie Comics was drawn in Flash. I think it was Mr. Furious and Breezebringer were the people who made Movie Comics. It's yet since been out of, I don't know, business. They don't make comics anymore. Mr. Furious tried to restart the comic with a website called Movie Comics 2. But it didn't really do any work. He asked people to do guest comics, and that's pretty much what Movie Comics 2, the sequel, was nothing but guest comics. I did a guest comic for him. It was a joke on I Am Legend. I'll try to see if I got a link to that or something. But anyways, at the time, Mortis, from mortisland.com, he made the animations. He made this comic, and at that time, Movie Comics was going to take a break, and they were looking for guest comics. And at the time, I'd been drawing in Flash, and it's easy to copy someone's style well, I think it is, in Flash. And so that's what I did. I copied the style of his characters, and I made these little puppets. That way I could move them around, you know, between panels and stuff like this. But I wasn't good at writing comics. I'm still not good at writing comics. But I was particularly really crappy at writing comics, especially one-shot comics. I didn't have any ideas. So I moseyed on over to mortisland.com, and I found a comic that I thought was funny by him, and I kind of stole the joke. As in, word for word. I feel terrible about this, too. But I was 15, so I don't really feel terrible about it now, because I know that's wrong, and I don't do that stuff anymore. Unless you count parody. I guess I do parody a lot. No, I just do references. I don't do parodies. I do references. I submitted the comic to Movie Comics. It didn't get selected to be like on their front page to be a guest comic or anything. But what Mr. Furious did was he made a page of all the submissions so everyone could see them. Mortis ended up seeing the comic that I stole the idea from, and he was furious, like Mr. Furious. At the time, I was a friend, like an internet friend, of one of his friends. Her name was Stompy. He said, I don't remember what was said. It was like 2001 or 2002. But he told her like all kinds of bad stuff, and she told me, I can't believe you did this and all this stuff, and I felt terrible. But there's nothing anymore. Like, Mortisland has since closed down and then rebooted. Like, all his old cartoons are up, but none of his old comics are up. Movie Comics, I have no idea where you find the movie comic. You probably Google it and you'll find some movie comics and stuff. But the the guest comics aren't there anymore. I don't know where to find it. So there's like no, I don't want to say evidence. There's no actual, the comic is gone. Like, I don't have the old comic that I ripped off from this other guy. And the original comic that was ripped off, I can't find it on the internet either. It's not on his website. He didn't put that up when he rebooted his website. So, it's like it didn't happen. Maybe I'm not an art thief. I don't know. You know, if somebody ripped off my stuff, and I don't know, I think I'd be like super flattered. It's not a good thing though, because I see it happen here and there, and it actually happened to me once. Well, I don't know if you could count it happened to me once. Okay, so on DeviantArt, I would imagine like, I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago, on DeviantArt I made, stamps got big. Do you remember the DeviantArt stamps? They're just like little bitty pictures that you put on your journal, crap like that. So anyways, DeviantArt stamps had just gotten big. I made this stamp with a little mushroom. I don't have a mushroom. With a little, like a 1-up mushroom. You know, they look like the Mario mushrooms. They look like this on his belly. So I made a Mario mushroom stamp, right? And it was, I used a template too, so it looked super good. And I wrote, "Get a life" on it. And then I made a red mushroom that said, "Grow up." I know it's like, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, that's been around forever. You know, like, you didn't make that up. But if you look at the timestamps on things, maybe I did. A couple years later, that stuff started showing up on t-shirts! One other thing that was funny was somebody had left a comment on is either the Get a Life or Grow Up stamp, and they said, "You totally ripped this other guy off!" And he sent a link to this other guy's stamp that he made, which was a crappier version of my stamp. I had replied back, if you look at the timestamp on these submissions, you can tell that I submitted mine 4 years earlier. But anyways, I think I came up with that original idea of Get a Life and Grow Up. Yeah, I don't care if it showed up on t-shirts or the stuff or anything like that. And I'm not expecting credit because it's like, I don't own mushrooms or anything. It's like a personal thing that I feel good, like, hey, I came up with a good idea. I'm not making money off of this idea. Nobody knows that I may have come up with this idea. I don't know if I did or not, but it was original in my head, and I made the stamp and stuff, and it became a shirt. But anyways, I ripped off this guy when I was 14 or 15, and the comic went nowhere. The one that I made. It wasn't even really noticed except from the creator. I feel pretty bad about it because Mortis was a guy that, you know, I really admired his cartoons and stuff, and his comics were okay. And it's just, when you're a kid, you want things to be easy, and you want people to like you, and you want to, I don't know, you want to be popular. So if you do this when you're an adult, you're probably looking for money and stuff like that, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to do it as a kid either. But anyways, there's my story. One time. Only one time. Don't hate me for it, please, please. I just thought I'd tell you a story that I am a little bit embarrassed about. I feel bad about it, yes. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. And the next page should be out right now, the page after the one that you're watching. So head on over to badmusiczombies.com. You can see that. Or you can go to my Tapastic page. I don't remember what the URL is for it. But you can check it out on Tapastic too. Yeah, that's where everybody comments and tells me that I misspelled something or put an apostrophe in the wrong place. See you next time! Bye!